Being controlled, that's a big word. And do I seem like the girl that is controlled? No. No one was ever controlled.
What decisions did you make on your own, for example? It must sound too crazy knowing, just looking at your characteristics and mannerism, it doesn't look like a victim to me, you know, already just from the...
So like if you were a real journalist, this would be an interesting question.
What would it take for you to accept there's a crime?
There has been no crime made. And there will not be a crime. When it comes to them, they are very straight and they don't like crimes. They are very good people. So whatever the police, the authorities, whatever people might bring out as a crime, I can say from now, I don't believe in any of it.
She literally, like, come on, you've got to be saying, like, if you're a conservative, even if you are a conservative, even if you believe that Andrew Tate is innocent, this sounds bad, right? No evidence will convince me. I think for tomorrow, we're gonna go over some of the Andrew Tate stuff, I guess, so I can be ready for the one debate. But I don't feel like, I truly have no idea like what a Tate defender could actually say. Like, I don't know at this point like, it feels like such an easy debate. Like, I don't know what somebody could possibly say to defend him, other than it feels like it's gonna be by fighting it's not even gonna be by fighting what sex trafficking means. It's gonna be like what sex trafficking means should even count as sex trafficking. Like, that's what it feels like the argument is gonna be over, which just feels dumb. Who are you debating? I think it's this person. I think. This Tam Can guy?
You're going to see the truth behind the Tate's detention in Romania. Just to introduce myself, I know we've never met. I'm Tam Khan. I'm an old friend of Andrew. And for me, this whole case is very personal in a way.
I'm Suleiman Ahmed. I'm an independent journalist.
This guy, I think it's the Suleiman guy. That's who it is. Would say expert in the Tate case, something like that. He's an investigative journalist. Yeah, and then I see the email. That's the guy.
I have no connection to the Tates whatsoever, and the basis for this is to get down to the bottom of exactly what's been happening and what the facts are. So thank you very much for joining us. Jasmina, when did you actually meet the Tates?
It wasn't long after I moved back to Romania. It was in beginning of 2021.
Why do you refer...
Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit here. I don't know what standard practice is for journalists. I've developed kind of like my own feeling for what I like to see to know if something is true or false. So it might be that sometimes I make demands or requests that are not standard practice, or maybe they don't do these for reasons that I don't know. And maybe this isn't even fair of me to say, but this is my bullshit alarm. This is where this goes off. If you're gonna present somebody like this to me, and you're gonna start making claims about like the Andrew Tate stuff, you need to tell me, who is this person? What is their relationship to him in the past? What's their relationship to him now? Like, what are the conflicts of interest? I need to know that, because I was very irritated before that like some of the people that were coming out and saying like, oh yeah, like me, like nothing bad has happened between me and Andrew Tate, blah, blah, are like still employed by him or still work with him. Like, I need to know that, because that's gonna influence the way that I hear that. And when these guys are saying shit like, well, DICOT is being funded by Biden because in 2007, the United States, using the UN, said that they were gonna start funding sex trafficking, anti-sex trafficking measures across the world, and DICOT is one of the organizations that took money from the United States, and that means that the United States is a direct hand in trying to shut down Andrew Tate. Like, if you're gonna start going that, okay, that's fine. Okay, if you wanna say all that shit, okay, I don't know what the I'm supposed to do with that information, but fine. But if you're gonna start interviewing people, I need to know, who are they? What's their relationship with Andrew Tate? And is there any conflict of interest? I don't like when they don't present any of that. That super bothers me. But maybe they'll get into that in this video, and maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. And we'll see.
Neutral investigative journalist. I'm sure after this video your minds will change whether you are against him or not. You're going to see the truth behind the Tate's detention in Romania. Just to introduce myself, I know we've never met. I'm Tam Khan.
That Bruce River lawyer dude did seem to suggest that some of the stuff they're doing to Tate is a bit presumed guilty. It's not that it's presumed guilty, it's that, so in the United States of America, so firstly, always keep this in mind, okay? Somebody can counter me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am wrong, and no one has ever said this, okay? I'm pretty sure that, now if you're a conservative, jerk this off as much as you guys apparently hate your country. But in the United States of America, we have a ton of freedoms. We are afforded so many goddamn freedoms. And one of those freedoms we're afforded in the United States is that you cannot hold me for a crime without probable cause. You can't even stop me on the street and ask me for my name without probable cause. Now, that's not necessarily the same in other countries, but in the United States, we have very, 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 very strong protections for civilians when it comes to dealing with the cops. Now, I believe in Romania that if they have probable cause for an investigation, they can actually put you in jail and detain you for up to a maximum, I believe, of 180 days while they finish up those investigations without you being charged with a crime. Now, in the United States, you can't do this. It would be unethical. It would be illegal. But in Romania, you can hold somebody. You can detain them, I believe, for it's up to 180 days. I don't know what the bar is or what the threshold for evidence is. It's not something they've only done to the Tates. Like, this is just the way that their preventative detention. Okay, this is the way that their legal system works. But we made it home. Thank God.
I'm an old friend of Andrew, and for me, this whole case is very personal in a way.
I'm a Solomon
Isn't what you're saying an example of a Just So story? What?
Ahmed. I'm an independent journalist. I have no connection to the Tates whatsoever. And the basis for this is to get down to the bottom of exactly what's been happening and what the facts are. So thank you very much for joining us. Jasmina, when did you actually meet the Tates?
It wasn't long after I moved back to Romania. It was in beginning of 2021.
Why do you refer to the Tates as family? Why do you call them family?
Because they are family. You know what I've been saying for a long time, family doesn't necessarily mean that you have the same blood or DNA with someone. I got to know them and I saw how good and kind and how hardworking they were. So they became family really fast.
And again, I know we're on Rumble and I know that the standard for alternative media is non-existent, but like, this doesn't come off as an interview. This just comes off as like a PR, but like, this is like PR, right?
So how do the Tates treat the women around them?
They have never been aggressive in any way. They won't just like ignore someone.
Also, the interview is edited. There was a cut there.
How do the Tates treat the women around them?
They have never been aggressive in any way. They won't just
It's kind of weird, but okay.
like ignore someone if you try to talk to them.
Moving more onto the case, you released a video, and in the video you mentioned that the house that you were living in yourself was your house. Can you just clarify that for us, please?
They raided my house that I am renting with another friend, and it was their house. And the house I am renting, I have a landlord. She has nothing to do with them at all.
You also mentioned Deco destroyed the CCTV. How did you know this? How did you come to this conclusion?
Because obviously I am directly involved in the case. So it's the law. The authorities and the lawyers, they have to inform me about stuff too.
So they just threw it off the case. Then
Why not like produce a statement, like a written statement, an email? Like every time I talk with any of the Tate people, they demand so much evidence. And then even when you provide them with some evidence, they say it's fake. Why, if you're a Tate fan, you're not, are you not thinking that like, oh, like, I wonder where the text messages are. I wonder where the receipts are. I wonder where the email addresses are. I wonder where.
They're not using it as anything. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was confirmed by the Tate's lawyers that they weren't including any of the footage throughout this entire period. So my question to you is, why do you think they destroyed the evidence or did not want to include the evidence into the case?
Everyone can see this from the outside. This case is full of corruption. Obviously, they don't want them to get out of the arrest, right? They want to keep them there as long as possible. And they have no proof in this case. So what they're trying to do is just like keep them there for longer. So they will like look for more evidence that doesn't exist, more evidence that they will never have because there has been no crime committed whatsoever.
The BBC, I think Gondal and the judiciary confirmed you and Beatrice are two of the alleged victims. Can you confirm this to us, and how do you know you are actually confirmed as alleged victims?
After they got arrested, that's when I found out that I was a victim in this case, and I never gave my statement.
Actually confirmed as a. Can you confirm this to us, and how do you know you are actually confirmed as alleged victims?
After they got arrested, that's when I found out that I was a victim in this case, and I never gave my statement as a victim. So I was very shocked and surprised it even happened.
How did you find out? Wait, with that, that's not a real answer to the question. Like, where's the proof for any of this? Like, at least Project Veritas makes like bullshit proof for their videos. At least they show something.
And I did give in total 3 statements. Yeah, 3 statements in total. And 2 of them were given after the second raid, after 29th of December of last year, when they got arrested. And it was totally ignored and not approved.
Just to clarify, what you're saying is you could give live evidence, but what...
Wait, after the second rape?
Yeah, 3 statements in total, and 2 of them...
Oh, raid, not rape. My bad.
Even after the second raid, after 29th of December of last year, when they got arrested, and it was totally ignored and not approved.
Just to clarify, what you're saying is you could give live evidence, but what they're trying to do is discredit that evidence by saying that they've brainwashed you.
Yeah.
But did they give you any explanations as to why?
No. They gave me an explanation that this is the procedure. This is why we have to do this. But they haven't given me an explanation about why they are not approving my statements and why I'm being ignored, why I'm stated as a victim. I tried to talk to them a lot of times, but no one is listening to me.
You mentioned in a number of videos that you asked Descartes to remove you as a victim. What explanation did they give to say that they will not remove you?
None. They are completely ignoring me. In the first statement ever that we gave in April, I clarified the whole case, how it happened. I answered all the questions as the truth. And if you read my statement from April, even those from now, anyone could see that everything that's been assumed, it's a lie. It's a huge lie.
I mean, that is huge, because what you're essentially saying is the witness statements are so damaging to the prosecution, and that's the reason why they don't want to include it.
They can't.
In the Romanian criminal code, it explicitly says that a sex trafficking victim cannot save the person who is sex trafficking them. That's probably why, if she even is indeed a victim, that's why you're not supposed to admit their statements, or their statements can't exonerate the person that's being charged. I'm trying to find the opening statement that I used for Google Drive. I think you're remembering your research wrong. I'm not remembering my research wrong. We can go and read it. We can go find it exactly. The consent expressed, so this is Article 210, okay, Section 3, subsection 3. The consent expressed by an individual who is a victim of trafficking does not represent an acceptable defense. So even if you have somebody saying, oh no, it's okay, like it's fine, I'm chill, like I wasn't trafficked, it's okay, that cannot exonerate you if you are charged in Romania with sex trafficking. Which, if you know anything about trafficking or pimping or breaking people's minds, of course a victim is not going to be able to exonerate you from those charges, obviously.
Came into our homes, raided our homes, and then they took us to the police section. They said, okay, you're going to be interviewed, you're going to give your statements. And I asked them, what's the reason? And they said, no, you're going to figure it out later. You're going to find out later.
Right. But what do you think it is, what you've said, is a reason why they'll never file them or produce them?
In my witness statement.
Yeah. The truth.
I am speaking the truth. I've been saying the truth all the way since April of last year. And that's what they want to avoid. They want to avoid a voice, and they want to avoid people finding out the truth in the first place, because that will mean that the case will be done. They will lose the case. And that's what they don't want, because they have so much going on behind. Elections coming up in 2024, you have the leadership spot open in the DCOT, which...
Trafficking across borders becomes an ICC issue, is at international criminal courts, which follows the law issued by the, is it Hague in the Netherlands?
Which the prosecutor wants. There is so much more to this case.
She reminds me of Moo Kitty. Is she the one that does the XQC videos?
People don't see. You only see what media brings, and those are just assumptions.
Yeah, so I just want to summarize. What you're saying is you are not a victim. You consider the Tates as family. yet the judiciary and the prosecutor are ignoring you. Now,
Yeah.
one last argument people have is you've got Stockholm syndrome. And what that means is that the Tates were basically controlling you, and so you're brainwashed into saying these things. So we wanna ask some questions about that. So the first question is, did the Tates control you?
No one has ever controlled.
Why would you ask a question like that? Can you not see how much of like a pander this is? Like, if you're a Tate fan in chat, even if you think he's innocent, you got to acknowledge this is just like a huge dick suck interview, right?
XQC is getting sued by his ex in a 50 million divorce case. This is
We've already seen this, but we're gonna watch it again.
the biggest common law marriage case in history. His ex is now opening her mouth and bringing every Twitch streamer she can in it. Her mindset is probably either way she's losing, and I'm not talking about weight. So why not go all in? Good news is the ex never go to war unprepared and got Texas' best lawyer, Adam J. Morris. An adapter had Yeah. So talking about mental disability, a streamer called Destiny reacted to my videos and said that he's not sure if I'm a troll or have a mental disability. And I have both. Let's take a look of the guy accusing me of having a mental disability. So grateful I'm not a midget with blue hair. Talking about midget, Aiden Ross also got swallowed into the drama. And it's not for scamming millions of dollars from his kid audience with MILF tokens. Adapter said that Aiden is the reason that X got with another girl, because it's never happened before.
Do you guys like get colds when it's freezing?
I can't tell if her videos are a troll, if she has a mental disability.
X
Okay, I'm sorry.
Me, not even my parents. Okay, there's being controlled. That's a big word. And do I seem like the girl that is controlled? No, no one was ever controlled.
What decisions did you make on your own, for example? It must sound too crazy knowing, just looking at your characteristics and mannerism, it doesn't look like a victim to me, you know, already just from the...
So like if you were a real journalist, this would be an interesting question. Did you live and work with the Tates? When you did live and work with the Tates, were you ever allowed to leave unaccompanied? That would be an interesting question because they themselves have said that girls aren't, and a lot of the victims are reporting that they weren't allowed to leave, and some of the leaked chat logs said that they weren't allowed to leave. That would be a compelling question to ask.
The way you look, your presence, and your kind of like character is quite positive, you know? But these questions just to silence a lot of the critics and the biased media. So a lot of them say, like, what did you decide on your own? What kind of like decisions did you make, just for example?
I can just say everything.
Okay.
I decided everything for my own. I cannot say that they've ever decided anything for me or no one else. I chose to speak out right now because I wanted to. And I'm a really personal and private person. But, you know, when you see your family and...
Was she a cam girl? She's a really personal and private person. Did she do camming? I mean, they're not necessarily incongruent, but that would be interesting. I don't think they ever asked her occupation, did they? They just said she was a friend and part of the family.
And your closest friends being punished for crimes they didn't commit, then you obviously stop and go out with that. So, no, I've always made my own decisions. I've always done whatever I wanted to do. There has never been a grudge on holding me back on doing anything. So
there wasn't a scenario where you were trapped or locked up in the Tate's house?
Never. And no one has ever been trapped in their house.
When I do podcasts or I speak about this, everyone asks me the same question, so I'm gonna have to ask you. Is there any kind of clear-cut proof or evidence if they brought you to say that Tate did a crime, would you accept it? Is there anything they could show you which would make you think, okay, you know what? I'll accept they've done something. What would it take for you to accept there's a crime?
There has been no crime made. And there will not be a crime. When it comes to them, they are very straight and...
She can't even answer the fucking question. Is he going to make her answer that question?
For going for people, they don't like crimes. They are very good people. So whatever the police, the authorities, whatever people might bring out as a crime, I can say from now, I don't believe in any of it.
She literally, like, come on, you've got to be saying, like, if you're a conservative, even if you are conservative, even if you believe that Andrew Tate is innocent, this sounds bad, right? No evidence will convince me. Like, she sounds like a zombie. She's like a Max victim, right? She sounds like a sex trafficked, like, zombie girl. Nothing would ever convince me that anything they've done ever is wrong. I don't care what evidence comes out. Really? Have you ever been locked in their house? No one has ever been locked in the house. Really?
But this is a hypothetical question. And the question is this. Let's say there's a hypothetical scenario where the Tates did commit a crime that you weren't aware of, and there was some video evidence. Would you accept it?
I would accept it, but as I said before, it's very hard to...
She was a cam girl who has a Tate girl or owned by Tate tattoo on her. Oh, she's one of those people? Okay.
Even think of that.
Wait, can you prove that? Do you have a link to that just so I can see? Show me that.
Your own experience, you just don't believe that there would be.
Absolutely.
And that's important because if you were unwilling to accept that they could ever commit a crime, that could be an indicator that you were brainwashed. But obviously you are saying to us right now, if there was unequivocal evidence that they did, you would accept it. But just that.
I like how he primes her so fucking hard. I like how he primes her so fucking hard. Gavin, thanks for the tier 5 supper. Okay, well, just saying so that the interview is legitimate, you do acknowledge that for your word to be taken seriously, that you aren't brainwashed, or you're saying you're not brainwashed, you're also gonna have to tell me that that means you absolutely would accept evidence that would come out, because otherwise you would be illegitimate, right? You're doing it, right? Like, holy shit. This is her Twitter, Free Tate Jasmina. I am being used by the prosecution to hold my family and friends in jail for a crime they didn't commit. Innocent people are in jail, so our prosecutor try to get a promotion. Corruption is disgusting. Wake up, people.
That you know based on your experience that you wouldn't. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, I understand a lot with this because when I speak on the same thing, I said, I don't believe a thing. You can give me 1,000 witnesses. I don't believe, because I know them personally, unless you give me clear-cut, like we're saying to you, show me clear-cut proof. And until that day, yeah, exactly.
Unless you show me the proof,
there's nothing.
I can never say that's true.
And people think I'm crazy saying this.
And this case, as I'm so involved in it, I obviously know there is no proof, but like in general, talking about it, no, I will never, I will accept if you give me proof, 100%. But unless you give me proof, which they haven't given out either, when it comes to this case, I don't believe anything.
Yeah, I think that highlights their characters. People who personally know them, they laugh that we kind of like impossible. That's why we say this, again. People can't resonate with us. They don't understand.
People who wow, what a naive thing to say too. I wish I could just make fun of these guys for just like the childlike naivety. Like these guys will talk, I don't know if there's a red pill guy, but a lot of these guys, you know, like, oh, the world is cold. You gotta be ready to face facts and blah, blah, blah. But then when they're interviewing somebody, it's like, oh, well, his friend said he was a good guy. Like, I guarantee you, I shouldn't guarantee because I don't know, but it sounds like the same type of shit like conservatives would blow you up for if there was like a black guy that gets killed and his mom is on the TV and all his friends are like, oh, I thought Jamal was a good kid. And all the guys were like, oh, of course you thought he was a good fucking kid. It was your son. It was your friend. No shit. But like when it comes to Andrew Tate, well, look at all the girls that got shipped overseas to work for him. They're all saying he was a great guy. Like, you're not going to believe them? The ones that have his name literally fucking tattooed on their fucking skin? Like, why the fuck would I go to these would be the last people in the world that I would fucking talk to get a realistic opinion on fucking the Tates. Like, Jesus.
Because they don't know them personally, and that's why you have the same reaction I do.
I've been speaking out now for a long time. Obviously, I've tried to reach the authorities and the police, and that didn't work out. There are many things around the media which are lies, and I really want everyone to stop looking at that and start looking into the truth and what we show as proof and start believing what's right, not what's wrong. Because people talk about me being...
Oh, that Sulamane Ahmed guy follows me on Twitter. Awkward, but I think that's the one I'm debating.
Being brainwashed and having the Stockholm Syndrome. And yes, I've been reading the comments on Twitter. But those people that write those exact comments are the ones being brainwashed. The only thing I gotta say is I'm not a victim.
You're not being reasonable. You would believe her if she was against Tate? No, you brain dead fucking moron. What I'm saying is I wouldn't go to a person's friend or somebody with a tattoo branded on them with the person's name and ask them their opinion about the person. If I were to ask you Joe Biden's opinion on whether or not Hunter Biden was a good person or not, you would fucking throw that opinion out the window immediately. If I were to ask you what Obama thinks about Hillary Clinton, you would throw that opinion out the window immediately. If I were to ask you the best friend of any person that you fucking hate, well, hold on, you're saying Obama is bad. Well, what about Bill Ayers? He said that he was a good guy, right? You would fucking throw that out the window immediately. You'd be like, well, of course he's gonna say he's a good guy. They're personal friends. But when it's Tate, you're gonna walk up to me with the skin falling off your knees because you've been on them so much, slurping up that BBC, that Tate cum. And you're gonna sit there and tell me, dripping out of your mouth, oh no, I actually think that opinions from women that he got made to get tattoos of himself, I think they're a really good character litmus test for him. Get the fuck out of here. You're actually fucking mind rotted. Maybe Tate actually fucked the brain out of your skull when you were on your knees throating his dick. Give me a fucking break. It's actually like one of the most obviously stupid fucking statements I've ever heard in my entire life.
I've never been a victim. No one has committed any crimes, and people that have done nothing wrong are paying for.
And I think after speaking to you, and this is the first time I've spoken to you and ever met you, and it's just scary for me. I want to add to this before we finish is, you're clearly not a victim. You've spoken out and no one is taking that seriously, which shows such corruption at such a high level.
How do neither of these guys know the law? Why would a victim of sex trafficking not necessarily be, like, their testimony wouldn't necessarily matter when it comes? And also, if it's important, then just wait for the court case and then go and be part of the defense or whatever.
You've got people's lives on the line and they're still ignoring it, and people ignore it. And I say all the time, whether you
Oh my God, these guys are actual NPCs. What's up? How you doing?
Doing well. Just got home from dinner.
After meeting.
What's it? Good dinner?
It's good, yeah.
How do you actually argue if someone is brainwashed in court? I think that that's going to be, if it feels, there are some social interactions that I think I take for granted where it feels obvious that something could happen. I'm trying to think if I'm going to prove that, because I think that's where I'm going to get hung up on. It's going to be a bunch of like socially inept virgins, aka you fuckers, being like, well, if somebody says that, I shouldn't, I'm sorry, I'm attacking you. There's no reason to attack you. But it's going to be a bunch of people saying like, well, they're adults, they've got free will and blah, 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 blah. Like, despite the fact that every single person in pimp understands exactly like how this game works. And we've even watched a couple interviews with pimps who talk about like how you break women down and get them to like work for you and shit. But I have a feeling a lot of the conversation is going to be this guy and then Pearl chiming in with her dumb shit takes, where she's like, oh, well, didn't they have the choice to leave at any point in time? Couldn't they always leave? And it's like, okay, well, like, why am I even fucking here to have this conversation right now? Like, I'm actually being tortured. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I know. I know what you mean.
Thank you.
Are they paying for your room and board and your flight?
Yeah.
Or are you doing a pro bono? Oh, fuck.
Not pro bonoing to fucking Bongerland.
London? Well,
With this
yeah,
woman abusing the fuck out of those YouTube shorts.
they should be paying you
She has
to
like
go there.
60 million fucking views a lot right now, or a month right now, I think.
Who is it?
Just Pearly Things.
Just Pearly. Let's look them up.
A lot of these YouTube shorts though, so these numbers are inflated, guys, okay? That 91 million, 100 million, Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Oh, never mind. They're just like f***ing pumping videos out.
Yeah, it's
All
pumping.
All videos have like 3,000 views.
Yeah, well, the long form ones do, but some of the shorts will blow up,
These
and
are
that's
like
where
10
a lot
minutes,
of that.
But yeah, the shorts, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. Oof, YouTube shorts are doing well. YouTube is up their game, okay? I approve. Good job.
They're going to be doing even better when TikTok gets f***ing banned.
Oh, I thought you were going to say when Twitch goes.
No, well, that shit's going too.
I'm still waiting for the, I feel like it's coming. Hopefully not, but I feel it's coming where they're going to be like, no more Twitch Prime. Oof.
Yeah, that'll be a big, be a pretty big yikes, I won't lie.
No.
Dan was wrong, though. He said it was coming within the year, like last year. Another L Dan take.
True. He gives a lot of those, right?
He does. But he's loud about the ones he's right about. But he's
Yeah,
very
he does
quiet
that.
about the
It's a
ones
very
he's
good
wrong
like
about.
debate
Yeah.
tactic. He's
He
kind of like
is,
Rob
yes.
Noor. Yeah, because he'll make like 10 predictions, and most of them are just completely fucking wrong.
And we forget about him.
Yeah, because he'll go on endlessly about the
Yes.
things that he's right about.
Correct, yes. Common Dan L.
Yeah, it's a common Dan. Well, no, I'll say it's a Dan W, because it is a W for how well he's able to manipulate the chat, and I think he's right
But we're
about
catching on now, so.
anything. True. And honestly,
got
like
it.
if I want serious takes about like business and shit, you know who I'm going to, right?
Oh yeah, Nico.
Well, no, don't troll. I was gonna say Devin.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, because if I want to know about like crypto or stuff
What's
that's
really
gonna be,
going on,
like
yeah.
in the world of tech and shit. Yeah.
Not like Dan's like weird, like, oh, I own a condo.
Oh
in,
yeah, I have a
fucking
condo.
Detroit.
I do real estate because I invested in a I bought a.
You
I have an
don't do
apartment.
real
Have you
estate.
ever seen this apartment building in San Francisco that he supposedly owns? Here you go. Eat it.
No.
Yeah. have
First
you?
off, I haven't, and he doesn't even manage it. He pays someone else.
Yeah,
to do
he
it.
pays a private. Yeah. Do you think he
Yeah.
actually owns this shit, or do you think it's like
does
some
he really
fucking
do?
Sim City shit where he's like, I'm gonna say own something?
Oh.
What?
He's probably doing one of those things where you buy into like ownership of like a quote unquote building or whatever. It's like kind of like a stock. That's
Like
probably
that's what I said before. A REIT, REIT. I think it's a real
Oh,
estate
REIT,
investment
yeah,
trade or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly that, but yeah, I think he just invests in like, and then he like pretends he's like, oh yeah, guys, like I'm totally invested in this fucking whatever the fuck. Like he pretends, yeah.
Think of it. Never mind. I fucked up the cook. Okay.
Okay, that's
we were cooking together,
okay,
and I burned my dish a little bit.
we'll get it next time.